Team Liquid is topping the charts for the utility damage on Mirage. That's why I thought it would be interesting to have a look at some of the nades used by their players, to see how they do it, and what makes their utility so effective on this map. So for this video, we will discuss the 8 most used nades by NAF on the T side and see what its role is within the team during their time as attackers. Starting with the first nade, NAF is consistently responsible for throwing this smoke that lands at the top of middle. Knowing that he is often playing a lurking role that won't necessarily benefit from having a smoke available, it makes sense that Team Liquid uses NAF smoke at the beginning of the round to smoke off top mid. This allows his teammates to hold onto their smokes that can be used later in the round to block off vision from either window, short or even connector. Don't forget, by the way, that due to the positioning of this lineup, NAF is still able to buy another nade to begin the round with 4 pieces of utility. The smoke lineup is very simple. Come over to this corner at the wall and spawn, aim up at the end of the antenna and release with a left click throw. The smoke lands at the beginning of the catwalk with a gap towards short, but blocks off the vision towards connector and window. His most favorite nade that we see him use quite often when playing inside the palace is definitely this next Molotov. Now there are a few different ways that he likes to line it up, so let's begin with the easiest one first. By the time his teammates have wrapped around the A side and are now ready to get more control of the bomb side, NAF will come out of palace and use this Molotov to flush out anyone playing in the shadow position. Especially against enemies that have a strong tendency to use this position during their defensive setups, it can prove to be a very effective Molotov. Now in the best case, it will force the shadow defender out and make him vulnerable to the attackers that are coming from either connector, jungle or ramp. There is a counter, however. In some situations, the defender will already be prepared for this and keep a smoke available to extinguish the incoming Molotov. But if this is the case, then trying to take down the defender with a high explosive nade or even a wallbang could be possible alternatives. This first lineup is very easy. Standing against the left wall, just aim slightly in front of the gap's corner and release with a left click throw. Now to increase efficiency, NAF will often follow this up with a flashbang that flashes the shadow defender and makes it even more difficult for him to get out of the flames. And don't worry, the lineup is exactly the same, so no need to learn anything new. By the way, there is a second lineup for a similar Molotov. Instead of standing at the entrance to palace, he sometimes uses this running lineup that allows him to stay around the corner while throwing the molly. This way, he doesn't need to face anyone that could potentially kill him from either the balcony or even the stairs angle. For the lineup, come over to the back of the second pillar and aim up at the top left of the corner in the wall. Then run and release the Molotov with a left click throw once you pass this wall on the right. The Molotov will bounce, fly through the gap and then land at the bottom of the ladder, flushing out anyone that was playing inside this shadow position. Sometimes the enemy might try and surprise you by standing on top of the balcony instead. That's where this third nade comes in handy. As you can see in NAF's POV, it's also possible to use a Molotov from palace to clear out the top part. This can be done by once again bouncing the Molotov off the corner in palace, but since the angle is a bit more to the left, it will now land on top of the wood instead of flying through the gap. The flames will spread all the way and prevent anyone from staying in this balcony position. He doesn't only play palace, however. Sometimes, while lurking, NAF will play at the ramp instead, and hold for any pushes from the CTs in this area. For defenders, there are a few options. One option could be to jiggle peek the corner and get into the left side to hold a close angle from the top of the ledge. Because this is a quite common position for CTs to play, you'll sometimes see NAF use a nade to counter it. The lineup is very simple. When standing on top of T roof, just aim next to the stairs on the right and release with a left click throw. The nade will bounce up and land onto the ledge. This way, any defender holding from the close angle will take significant damage and be an easier target for the rest of the round. Boomage shows us another example on how to defend ramp. After smoking off the ramp, he wants to move and sit behind a smoke from an off angle somewhere in front of Tetris. However, NAF is aware of this possibility and uses his high explosive nade to deal with such a situation. As you can see in this example, the nade thrown through the smoke lands at the feet of Boomage and deals a lot of damage to him. This is just one of those nades that can be thrown on the fly, not requiring a specific lineup, just a bit of intuition on where to put it and when to use it. That brings us to the last nade for the video. When doing B executes, NAF usually only has 1 or 2 flashes left, since he already used his other utility either at top mid, ramp or palace. Luckily for him, his job of throwing the flashbangs is rather simple. When his teammates are setting up inside apartments, he, together with another player, will be responsible for throwing a barrage of flashes over the apartments to blind the defenders at the B side. He often throws his first flash on the left side. This will blind the players at car, E-box, bench and on this side of the bomb side. However, this leaves the players in the middle of the site and in this position unblinded. So therefore he follows it up with a second flashbang with a different angle that will also blind those positions. The first lineup is from the right side behind the wall. Aim at the bottom left corner of the wooden rectangle and release with a jump throw while running. For the second flashbang, come over to the left side of the alley and once again aim at the height of the bottom of this rectangle. However, this time more to the right, so that the flashbang will pop above the apartment's balcony after doing the jump throw while running. With those flashes, there's a big chance that the defenders will be blinded, giving the attacking team a better opportunity to win. We've now seen 8 different nades used by NAF on the T side of Mirage, and this way covered his most frequently used utility. I hope learning these nades can help you build a stronger routine for your gameplay and get you more consistent wins the next time you join the server. Good luck with practicing, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.